All right, you just passed your CDL permit test. First off, congrats. But now what? You already decided not to go with one of those free training companies that's gonna lock you into a 12-month deal that you can't wiggle out of. So how do you get trained, get hired, and actually start making some solid money without getting finessed? This video is your full roadmap. I'm talking CDL permit to first paycheck and beyond, the no fluff version. We're gonna talk about your next moves, what things cost you and what to avoid, and how to set yourself up for the higher paying trucking jobs down the line. Let's get into it.
Maurice Bay, the Helpful Trucker here. Welcome back to another one. This video is for the people that passed their CDL test and are going the independent route, paying for your own school, not going with company-sponsored training. Maybe you value the freedom, maybe you don't want to be stuck in the contract. Either way, you're about to drop some real money and time into this, so let me help you move smart. Now that you got your permit, your next step is school. Now, I covered some of this in a previous video, so in short, you're looking for a school that is, of course, FMCSA approved, has decent equipment, good trainers, job placement services that can help you get employed after you graduate, and hopefully a program that at least tries to prepare drivers for some real-world driving as opposed to just helping them pass the test. Training usually lasts between 3 to 8 weeks, depending on whether you're full-time or part-time. During that time, you're gonna learn pre-trip, you're gonna learn backing, and you're gonna learn some basics as far as operating that 80,000-pound beast out on the road. Stay focused on repetitions while you're in school, not rushing. The trap that catches a lot of people up here, don't just pick the cheapest school or the one that's closest to your house. Cheap schools with busted trucks and lazy instructors and no job placement can cost you down the road. Now, in the next section, I'm gonna break down a part that very few people talk about. The hidden cost of doing this on your own. The objective is to help you not get caught off guard here. All right, let's talk money. And I don't mean just CDL school tuition. I'm talking about all the other stuff that you might have to buy or spend money on in between getting your permit and getting your first paycheck. This is a part that very few people consider. Many people don't realize how expensive this stretch could potentially be from permit to first paycheck. So let's break it down. Now, the main cost in all of this is obviously gonna be CDL school. Depending on where you are in the country, that's gonna be between about $3,000 and $7,500. DOT physical could be between $75 and $150. Drug test you might have to pay for between $50 and $100. Fees at the DMV, the cost of your license, testing, stuff like that, $100 to $200. Food, gas, and lodging during your school, depending on how far you gotta travel, between $300 and $1,200. That's just an estimate. You might have to buy gear, boots, gloves, stuff like that. You might spend a couple $100s on that. You're gonna lose time off from work if you're going full time. Total cost being between $3,700 and $9,500. Now, you might not hit all of that, but the point is this ain't gonna be cheap. And many people don't factor this part in. You're investing in a license that can earn you between $60,000 and $90,000 plus a year, so take this seriously. Treat it like a business move. Now, I know there's probably people wondering right now, can I get reimbursed for some of this stuff? Some companies will reimburse part of all of your school costs after hiring you. You're probably gonna have to show proof of graduation and meet some sort of time commitment. Save all your receipts. Many of these costs are probably tax deductible for you. Talk to a tax pro about Schedule A deductions or unreimbursed work expenses. The trap that catches most people up here, starting school broke, assuming you'll figure it out. Nope, you'll just be stressed out and distracted when you should be learning. Now, you probably know this already, but once you pass your CDL test and you get your actual CDL, you're probably not gonna be just handed a job. Some schools do help you out with job placement. That's why I encourage you to look for schools that offer that, but other schools leave you on your own. I know, I get the comments on YouTube videos from people saying they just got out of school and they can't find a job. But here's what typically, generally speaking, happens with people when they go to Class A route after they get their CDL. You'll apply to entry-level companies, Swift, Schneider, Werner, Prime, Western Express, Stevens Transport, stuff like that. Generally speaking, entry-level stuff. Or you'll network with some people and you'll find a smaller outfit to get started with. You'll get started with food and beverage or something like that. You'll find a company to get started with. Generally speaking, that period could take up to a month, depending on your drug test results, application approvals, background checks, how aggressively you are applying, and how picky you are with what you will and won't do to get started in trucking. Obviously, the more picky you are with what you will and won't do, then the longer it could take you to get hired and get to the money. So be smart about how you're going into all of this. If you know before you get into it, you got some stuff that you're not willing to do. And just to back up a second, a word on drug testing. Yes, some companies do hair follicle testing. You probably know that already, but if you don't, I'm telling you. And hair follicle testing goes way back, obviously. So if you've been partying, you might want to chill out for a while before you apply. The trap to avoid that catches many people up here: passing the test and then sitting on their hands, waiting for something to come to them. Or they didn't do enough due diligence before they went into the process, and now they're just kind of winging it after they get their CDL. Pro tip here: as you're calling around and looking at schools to go to, not only should you be looking for schools that have job placement services along with all the other stuff I told you about, but you should also be gathering information on what types of trucking companies or what types of trucking jobs this particular school you're looking at going to places their new students with typically. That way it won't be so much of a surprise after you graduate and get your CDL with the options that are going to be introduced to you then. There's too many people coming out of CDL school talking about, I can't go OTR, I got a family, I need to be local, and nobody local will touch me because I don't have any experience and I don't know what to do now. It's like, did you not know that you couldn't go OTR before you went to the school? Why not have that conversation with the school before you ever pay money to the school? Now, coming up, I'm breaking down exactly what you can start doing right now and over the course of the next year to put yourself in position to qualify for the higher paying trucking jobs later on. Don't miss this next part. Now, let me keep it real with you, family. Higher paying trucking jobs don't go to individuals with shiny boots and no experience. They go to drivers who ain't a liability. And when I say higher paying trucking jobs, I don't mean like ice roads trucking or wide loads or oversized loads or anything crazy like that. I'm talking trucking jobs that pay $1,500 a week to $2,200 a week consistently. The type of trucking jobs that real drivers, grown folks, grow into after their CDL gets some miles on it. Companies like Old Dominion, XPO, Estes, Saya. That's not what I call them. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced. S-A-I-A, Saya. LTL and line haul. These aren't over-the-road type jobs. They're union in many cases, so you're going to get great benefits with these type of jobs, but they're tough to get into. Fuel hauling, tanker work. You're going to need your hazmat and your tanker endorsement for that. I hear there's great money in that once you're considered reliable and experienced. Dedicated freight, Walmart, Target, stuff like that. Obviously, that type of job pays well. You'll get bonuses as you keep your record clean and as you get time under your belt there. Now, obviously, there's a lot of great paying trucking jobs out there that'll become available to you as you keep your record clean and as you get some miles on your CDL. The question is, how do you get in position for the higher paying trucking job? Higher paying trucking job employers are going to be looking for consistency. That means you can't be bouncing around. Try to stay with the company that you start with in trucking, at least the first year. That's gonna look good down the road. Obviously, keep your record squeaky clean. We'll talk about that briefly next. Get all your endorsements early. Hazmat, tanker, doubles maybe even. Network early, family. I can't say this one enough. Talk to other drivers in person and online if you can reach them. In other words, word of mouth in this profession is a lot of the times how you're gonna find real gems. Also keep in mind, family, the best employers in any industry are not necessarily hiring all the time, which means word of mouth is really important when it comes to getting in with a great employer. Again, that don't matter what industry you're in. Because they're a great employer, everybody's trying to get into them. They probably got a stack of applications this thick. It's gonna help you if, because of your networking abilities, you can find a way into there through the back door. I'm just saying, just trying to walk through the front door of the best companies that everybody is trying to get hired at, you might be waiting around for a long time. The trap that catches a lot of people up here, family, is getting started in trucking with the full expectation of being local. And then at the same note, you haven't put any due diligence into finding local companies that'll hire you after CDL school. Like just coming out of CDL school and trying to wing it and having a bunch of stuff that you're not willing to do. Just generally speaking, be prepared to grind. Be prepared to not be at home your first year unless you have an in with a company that can get you started a different kind of way. Now, you want to know why some, and I'll say it again, some, in other words, not all drivers get stuck making $850 a week 3 years after they've been driving? It's because some of them burn themselves in year one. Ways new drivers mess up their record: abandoning loads or equipment. Even if you were mad, don't do it. Quitting without prior notice, especially if the company paid for something and you still got their stuff. Too many incidents. Small accidents count, family. Tearing up doors and backing into trailers and knocking mirrors off. That stuff counts. Late deliveries that affect customer contracts, citations, speeding, cell phone, logbook violations, failed inspections, bad attitudes reported by trainers. Yes, it's documented. Every one of those things is documented on your DAC report. And if you don't know what a DAC is, it's kind of a background report for truckers that future employers see. The trap that catches some people up here that you want to avoid is thinking that you're just another number, and some of that stuff I mentioned just now, little incidences and stuff, just kind of thinking that stuff doesn't matter. High-paying employers want pros, not problems, family.
Now, family, if you follow these steps we just walked through, you'll be miles ahead of people that just jump into this industry blindly. But don't just rush to get a paycheck. Use these first steps to build a foundation. Treat this like your launch pad. Move with purpose and build clean habits so that better opportunities open up to you in the future. And that, my friends, is just what this channel is all about. Not just getting you hired or getting you started, but about your future. So now you know how to go from permit to paycheck. But don't stop there. In my next video, I'm breaking down how to move like somebody who's not trying to be stuck behind the steering wheel forever. I'm talking 5 years or less if you play your cards right. It'll be for the ones that understand that planning the exit is just as important, if not more important, than planning the entry. So if that's you, hit subscribe, stay locked in, and I'll see you in the next one.